Welcome to the Culinary Treasure Podcast. I'm Steven Shomler, your host. Today, Bozeman Spirits. There are, by my reckoning, 3 distilleries around these parts. I'm so excited to be here. Cortney, Paris, you are the distiller here, and I'm so excited to be here. I've done a podcast with Wild Rye Distilling. I've done a podcast with Dry Hills, but now I'm finally getting the trifecta, and I get to interview you, which is awesome, and your stuff's amazing. If you want to know why I love Bozeman so much, you can go to adventuresinbozeman.com, check out all my Bozeman-centric content, be it travel articles, food articles, craft beer articles, and more importantly for this podcast, all of my culinary podcasts. Links to all of that content is there at adventuresinbozeman.com. But Cortney, Paris, Bozeman Spirits, I keep wanting to say Bozeman Distillery, Bozeman Brewing, but I'm going to stick to Bozeman Spirits. So where were you born?
I was born in Federal Way, Washington.
And where did you go to high school?
I went to Dawson County High School in Glendive, Montana, a little town 5 hours east of Bozeman.
5 hours. You can drive. People in California, you can drive forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up in Southern California. Oregon takes a long time to get through it. But people on the East Coast, for them, the idea that you're driving for 5 hours from Bozeman and still in the same state blows their mind.
Yeah, it's quite a distance to travel across Montana.
And what's the mascot there?
The Red Devils.
The Red Devils. I like that. And what year did you come to Bozeman?
2010.
And you came here to go to MSU to school?
Yes.
And what did you major in?
I majored in music technology.
And you graduated, right?
Mm-hmm.
And good experience at MSU?
Yeah, it was great.
So when you first arrived in Bozeman, what did you think of the city?
I liked it. It was a lot bigger than Glendive and a lot more stuff to do.
So roughly, what's the population of Glendive?
About 8,000, I think.
But that's only if you include Glendive and West Glendive.
Yes, so if you include both.
So this roughly, the county itself, Gallatin County, County 6, it's roughly more than 10 times bigger than
Yeah.
That is funny. That's crazy. I love that. So you loved Bozeman. It was a big city. So in school, a lot of people have part-time jobs, but you had work study related to music.
Yep.
You graduated. You wanted to stay here in Bozeman, right?
Correct.
You loved it?
I liked it a lot, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's the symphony thing, which we'll talk about in a bit going on.
Yes.
And you previously, you'd had server experience.
Correct. 6 years.
6 years, and you heard tell that bartenders make more money?
Yes.
So you applied at places to be a bartender.
Yes, I did.
What was one of the places you applied to?
I applied to Bozeman Spirits.
And did they hire you right then on the spot to be a bartender?
No.
Oh, what happened?
About 5 minutes after I got home, after disappointment of they weren't hiring, I got a call like, well, do you want to come and bottle? I'm like, sure, yeah, put me to work.
And so you started bottling.
Yes, I started bottling. My first bottling experience was mini bottles, 50 milliliter mini bottles with a horse syringe.
Oh my goodness.
And the spirit was gin. I remember it plain as day.
Now, that's a job I could not do because I love gin. And you know how 4-year-olds pick strawberries? One for me, one for the bucket, one for me. I'd be one horse syringe for me, one horse syringe for the bottle. And then I would make it about, 10 bottles, then be out.
Yeah.
So you start right away bottling,
Mm-hmm.
and you are really smart. I can just tell you're really inquisitive, and you just start asking questions about distilling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, over the course of a couple months here and there, I just started asking questions. How does this work? How does that work? What can I do to do something other than bottling?
But soon, right after, you just start helping distilling.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Learned on the job.
And you enjoy distilling, don't you?
I do. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
There's a lot of cool things about distilling, just like brewing or winemaking. What are some of the things you enjoy about distilling?
I enjoy the recipes. It's fun to create different varieties of, say your bourbon or whiskey is like 51% corn or higher, and then how much barley do you need to add? How much rye do you want to add? And then you have different variations of taste when it comes off the still, and it's a lot of fun. Same with the yeasts. We've been messing around the last couple of months with different yeasts and had different outcomes, different yields. So it's fun to learn the right way and the wrong way.
Yeah, and distilling is really kind of like old school medieval alchemy, because you can legally homebrew, but you can't legally home distill, although some people do it. So it's even harder to become a distiller than a brewer. And one of the magical things that's happened for you is you mentioned recipe creation. we're later going to try a rum cream that's your recipe.
Yes, I made it for a Christmas, special for up front, and they liked it so much. They're like, "Oh, we'll slap a label on it."
And you've been here about 5 years.
Yep, 5.5.
5.5 years. By the way, so as growing up, you didn't have much alcohol, not part of your journey. But I hear tale that you drank some alcohol in college. What was the alcohol that you drank in college for a hot minute?
It was Fireball.
And what'd you do with it?
I mixed it with Angry Orchard, and I had a little bit too much.
So I have a lot of friends that I love me a really good tequila. I just can't. Cheap tequila literally gives me a headache. But really good tequila, 100% agave, I love it. And I have friends that they drank so much tequila in college that they can't even stand the smell of it. It literally makes them sick to the stomach now, which I feel terrible. I feel so sad for them. And I bet you drink lots of Fireball now, right?
Oh, God, no.
So you're like them. Like, I'm done.
Yep, I'm done.
My Fireball tank is full for the rest of this life. That is good. I like that. So we're going to talk more about your distillery journey. We're going to drink some of these amazing spirits that have me forming, which I cannot wait to sample. But there's one other cool thing you do professionally that you also love. What was your degree in?
Music technology.
And how does that help you as a distiller?
Well, music and drinking go hand in hand, so there's that.
I think that's fantastic. I love it. Okay, so you are part of 2 symphonies.
Correct.
So so Bozeman Symphony is the first one. And how long have you been part of the Bozeman Symphony?
For 9 years.
9 years. And then you also do the Helena?
Symphony, yep.
And how long have you been there?
I've been there for about 5, 6 years. I can't even remember anymore.
And how far is it a drive from here to Helena?
Helena is about an hour and a half.
So hour and a half one way?
One way.
And so it's a 3-hour round trip.
Correct.
So that's a big commitment. And then what kind of instrument do you play?
I play the upright bass.
Upright bass. Now, I know way more about the upright bass than I should because of craft beer. Because there's a brewery in Portland called Upright Brewing.
Mm-hmm.
They're a chapter in my second book. I love Upright Brewing, and they are named after Charles Mingus, and he also played the upright bass.
He did.
Yeah, I learned all about that in researching for the book. It's like, and I do love me an upright bass. And so they make a 1/4, half, 3/4, and full upright basses.
Correct.
Which one do you play?
I play a 3/4.
3/4. Now, how tall are you?
5'3".
5'3". Now, you realize that an upright bass is about, depending, a 3/4 upright bass is roughly 71.5 inches.
Yep.
Which is about 6 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So you're 5'3", and you play an instrument that's...
Yep. I play an instrument bigger than me.
And the case is pretty stinking big, too.
Oh, yeah. It weighs about as much as the case because it's really thick padded. And I've actually taken a nap in there before.
That is hilarious. And I love a bass. And then what else do you play?
Oh, a whole hell of a lot. I started playing instruments when I was 2, and that was the piano.
Okay.
And then violin at 5.
All right.
Clarinet, saxophone, and baritone at 8. Guitar. And when I started middle school in 6th grade, I had to teach myself to learn the electric bass because my teacher thought I could do it. So I did.
And why do you play the bass now as opposed to the violin or the flute or any other instrument? Why did you stick with? Do you love the bass?
I love the bass. Yeah, you're the core of the music, and it warms my heart every time I play it. It just
that deep, rich sound.
Yes, I love it.
So if people want to check out, a lot of people like. I was young. I started reading Michael Connelly books, and he writes a fictional character, Harry Bosch, Hieronymus Bosch, named after a terrible painter that did these terrible medieval scary paintings. But the character, he loves jazz. He absolutely loves jazz. And I started learning about jazz from those books, those murder mysteries, because he's an L.A. homicide detective. So I started checking out jazz from that, and I started listening to some of the things that they listen to. And I just did a podcast with they call him his first name. They call him Chef. His actual name is Scotty Burton, and he's at the founding chef at Copper Bar. And he plays jazz music in the kitchen for all of his, he calls them his kids, all the young cooks that he has come through and teaches them jazz. and they learn to live jazz. And if someone wants to check out some music, they want a upright bass, there's Charles Mingus. He does
Charles
upright.
Mingus, yep.
And then Nathan East is more contemporary, right?
East, yep. And then on the more classical side is Giovanni Bottassini. And one of the very few bass concertos that he's written is the one in B minor, and it's my absolute favorite.
And what's the name of that one?
On top of my head, I have no idea.
Okay.
All I know is Giovanni Bottassini concerto in B minor on YouTube.
Oh, that's probably the name then.
Probably.
I have a good friend, Arthur Brewer, who unfortunately is not a brewer, even though his last name is Brewer, but he's a composer and he writes music. And I'm going to say, Arthur, have you done anything with upright bass? Come on now. And you also play the electric bass.
I do, yes.
Oh, man. I had a friend in Minnesota, and she played the electric violin, which people don't even exist, and that was beautiful. I've heard lots of upright bass. I don't know if I've ever heard an upright bass and known about it, but I bet that's a pretty incredible sound, too.
Oh, it is, yeah.
I think that's fantastic. Okay, so let's get back to brewing. Let's get back to distilling. So there was a point in your journey here as the distiller at Bozeman Spirits where the gentleman that was here that opened the founding head distiller, his name is Thomas. And there was a point in your journey where Thomas leaves, and it's you, and you're running the show. How did that feel?
It felt pretty good. I was boss lady now, so I was pretty happy.
I love that. Okay, let's talk about some of these, and I get to taste some of these.
Yes,
that's the part. That's why I love my job, man. I'm a lucky dog. So Cold Spring lemon vodka. We're going to start with that. I'm going to grab my little samples. You tell us about it.
Well, we take our original vodka, and what we did is we infused Budahan fruit, which is a citrus type fruit, and it looks like a little yellow squid octopus thing. And we chopped it up and we got our flavor from that. And then it's just like a lemony citrus vodka. Tastes wonderful in a lemon drop.
You know, I learned about Charles Mingus's craft beer. I learned about the Budahan fruit from craft beer because there's one of my favorite beer festivals is the Portland Fruit Beer Festival. And brewers make special beers with special fruits. And one year and the first time I heard about it, I read the list and there's like 60 different fruits. And I didn't even know there was 60 different fruits. I mean, once I thought about it really, but it kind of shocked me. And so Budahan is amazing. So you put Budahan in the lemon vodka.
We used it as a template.
Oh, a template. Okay.
Yeah. So, and we just kind of did that. We add a little bit of sugar for some sweetness. Yeah.
This is fantastic.
It's very good, smooth, and by itself.
Yeah, I mean, I like putting vodka. I mean, I like putting alcohol in alcohol. I find a beer and I go, that would be great. I just add some gin to it or some vodka. Rum. I just love adding alcohol to alcohol. I think it's one of my superpowers. But this is one I could just drink straight, and it's incredibly smooth. So I love the label. The label is fun. This is really good. I'm not, So recently, my wife and I had her sister and brother over for her sister's birthday. And when we get together with them, I love them, love Donna and Lan. They're amazing. And we make special martinis, special vodka, special drinks for them for fun. And so this time we made a lemon martini, not a lemon drop, but a lemon martini. So it had some sourness to it and it was amazing. And I usually just, I'm more, vodka's fine. I love gin. But this, I could drink a lot of this. This is dangerous.
It is. A lot of their spirits are pretty dangerous. Yeah,
because my initial thought, because just how I'm wired, well, what could I put in this? And then I'm like, nothing. I like it just like it is. And I don't get stumped like that. I don't want to add in. I just want to drink it. Oh, this is impressive. Okay. Now we're going to talk about the Cold Spring Huckleberry.
Yes. Reason why it's huckleberry is being in Montana in the mountains, we get huckleberries in the mountains. It's what the bears eat. Like, why not use it for a spirit?
And huckleberry is kind of a big deal here in Montana.
Oh, yeah. It's huckleberry everything.
It is. I had a huckleberry mojito earlier this week at El Camino that was amazing. Absolutely love that. I've had lots of really good huckleberry. This is special. I bet you guys sell a lot of this.
Oh, yeah. It's our top seller.
And then do they make you go out in the woods and pick the huckleberries?
No.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay. I just wanted to make sure, because you never know. All right. And now The gin. I'm excited to
your
check out this
favorite.
gin. Yes. Yeah, I love me a gin martini, and I know that for gin or a martini aficionado, the way I drink my gin martini, I'm just drinking cold gin, but I like to have a good, gin, 3 olives, wave the vermouth bottle over the glass, and then put it aside, and then shake it and give it to me. And somebody says, that's not a martini, that's just cold gin. Oh, but I just love me some cold gin. So I love gin. So Montana Ruby River Gin, that's what the label says. So tell me about this one.
That one is named after the Ruby River, and it has about 12 different botanicals in it. You'll get the juniper, but you'll also get kind of a citrus and sweetness to it. And that's because we zest lemons and limes, and we stick them in one of the window ports in the column. So the vapor rises, and then the aftertaste, you get a little citrus after finish. So
yeah, this is really good. And this is, it's not a like one of my favorite gins is Big Gin. It's punch you in the face, juniper, which I like. This has got the hint of juniper. It doesn't have that citrus, but it also has the gin flavor, which is pretty amazing.
And it has a lot of other, like I said, 12 different botanicals in there.
And I almost get a little hint of floral too.
Yep, we have rose petals.
Rose petals, yeah, okay. All right, it is a very well done complex gin. I like that. And again, unfortunately, I'm kind of stumped. I don't know. I would drink it straight. I love mixing gin with things. So I like gin and juice. Sunday mornings, a really good Sunday morning is gin and juice, and I either do gin and orange juice or gin and ruby red grapefruit juice. I don't know if I would mix this with a juice. I think I would just drink it straight. There's got to be a juice. I'll think about it. These complex flavors got to be a juice that this be amazing with.
Cranberry.
Oh yeah, gin and cranberry.
We call it gin and chronic.
Gin and chronic. Okay, because I do sometimes if I'm working. Usually when I'm typing and working, I do little shots of whiskey and caramel corn. But sometimes I just if it's warm out, I'll have vodka and cranberry while I'm working. But I'm gonna try this Ruby River gin and cranberry. I like that. Okay, and now the next one. This I'm so excited for. So years ago, I got to go to Jamaica. Lucky dog, so grateful, and we got to take on the special tour, and I got to have a rum cream. And then I came back to the United States, and I've looked for it, and no offense to rum chata, but usually all the liquor stores in my neck of the woods, they carry rum chata, which is not the rum cream that I tasted. It's got that different, horchata flavor to it. And I love horchata. But I just want that rum cream. So I'm so excited to taste this. And so tell us about this. And this is the recipe you came up with.
Yep. So, I took some of our rum that we had, and I was like, okay, it's Christmas time. Let's see what I can do with a rum cream for some holiday spirit. So I added the rum, cream, vanilla, chocolate. So you get that mocha, and coffee.
Oh my goodness. This is the one. Okay, I'm taking a bottle of this home. This is the flavor that I've been missing since Jamaica. And no offense to the people in Jamaica who've had Jamaican rum cream. They're the experts, etc. But this on itself is amazing and wonderful. Wow. Again, I could dump this in coffee.
Oh yeah, it's great in coffee and on ice.
Oh, and on ice. And what are some other things people do with it?
The rummy root beer float.
What? So you got to walk me through that.
So you add rum, you add the cream, and then root beer.
Wow. So rum cream, root beer, and ice cream.
Rum cream.
Yes.
And root beer.
Okay.
No ice cream.
No ice cream. Okay. So just 2 ingredients?
Well, 3.
Okay. What's the 3rd ingredient?
Rum.
So rum. Okay. Sorry. I'm slow.
If you want to make it even rummier, you add rum.
So I'm distracted by this thing. So I have a hard time focusing because it's so good. My mind's kind of spinning. Man, I love it. I keep looking down at it. So you have regular rum, your rum cream, and root beer. Oh,
as far as I know, that's how you make it. That's how I make it.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Okay, and I actually, Bridger Brewing, they have their coffee stout, their Ghost Town coffee stout. I did a podcast with Ghost Town. I did a podcast yesterday with Daniel Pollard, the brewmaster out at Bridger Brewing, and they will take their coffee stout and add ice cream to it. So I think I would take this rum cream and kind of do an affogato style and add some ice cream, rum cream, and coffee. That I would like. Yeah, hot coffee.
with a little chocolate on top.
Ooh, now we're talking. Music and drinking do go well together
Yes, they
because they're both creative.
Yes. I like getting creative.
I
It's
like
fun.
I like how you add that flourish. That's really, really nice. Okay. So there's a shirt I saw yesterday at Copper Bar. Amazing. The ribeye is fantastic, but get the hanger steak. The hanger steak, it'll blow. I've been thinking about it ever since. Like I want to have one now every day, and I cannot eat a hanger steak and frites. It's their steak frites, but they use a hanger steak. It's incredible. And they had a shirt there. Whiskey is my spirit animal. And I love gin, but I also love me some whiskey, so I'm super excited to taste your bourbon whiskey. Talk to me about this whiskey.
Well, it's a bourbon whiskey, so that means it's over 51% corn. And then we add some malted barley and a little bit of rye. So you kind of get a little oakiness from the barrel. And it's aged about a little over a year because we're still trying to keep up.
Yeah, because everybody wants to buy it right now.
Oh, yeah. It's like you can't make it as fast as people want it. So aged over a year. We're trying to get to 2. Trying. Yeah, it's a very smooth, very light on the oak from the barrel and
just a hint of smoke, which I like.
into smoke. Yep.
Yeah, just a hint, and it is very smooth because some whiskeys you drink them and then there's heat and then it kind of burns.
It burns your throat.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
it gets me like mid chest and it may be an uncomfortable burn sometimes. And this is smooth. I kind of brace myself sometimes when I first taste whiskey, because my body's used to that. Oh crap! Now what's he doing to us?
Yep.
And this is smooth all the way down, but it does have that warmth and heat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really good. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Hats off to you. You make all of this amazing spirits. You are a distiller right here in Bozeman. What a joy, man. What a joy. And then you get to do that. You get to do music.
Mhm.
Does Bozeman feel like home?
It does.
What are some of the things now that you've been here a long time that you just love about Bozeman?
I love the mountains. I love looking at the mountains. From my backyard, we have a farm field behind it and then mountains. And I just love looking out at them.
So we've got the Bridgers. I'm terrible with directions, but probably the Bridgers over that way.
Yep.
We've got the Tobacco Roots over this way. And what's the behind? And so what's the one you look out at?
I would look at the Bridgers.
Look at the Bridgers. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just amazing. Well, Cortney, it has been a delight to have you on the Culinary Treasure Podcast. It's been so much fun to tell your story and drink the spirits that you have distilled. I wish to. So one last question now. When's the album coming out so I can buy Cortney Paris Upright?
I don't know.
Because to me, that would be okay. I'll take some spirits home. I bought her album. That would be like the coup de grace.
Well, I do have an album, but it's for a rock and roll band that I did in high school.
Okay. Well, I want that. Rock and roll's great, but there's something special about an upright bass. And if I could get an album of upright bass music played by the Distiller, I'll listen to that. I'll drink your whiskey or I'll drink a martini while I'm listening to the upright bass. That to me sounds amazing. So you get on that for me, will you?
I will start working on it.
Okay. All right. Thank you for putting up with me.
Thank you.
It's been a delight to have you on the Culinary Treasure Podcast. I wish you all the best. Cheers.
Bye.